Indonesia has sort of seen some aftershocks on the Richter scale. It's being recorded at about 8.6 on the Richter scale. We're talking about the magnitude of aftershocks of that initial earthquake that we saw earlier today. In fact, we've also got Yatin Mota, as we were saying, to talk to us about the business impact of this earthquake. Well, Yatin, for starters, plenty of Indian companies have operations in Indonesia. You've been working the phones, speaking to a lot of them. What are they telling you?
Well, a lot of Indian power companies are heavily dependent on Indonesian coal to fuel their power plants. In fact, we have the likes of Tata Power, we have Adani Power, Reliance Power, Lanco Infratech. In fact, a lot of subsidiaries of various companies also operate in Indonesia for their coal operations. We have a full-fledged Bhumi Resources, which is a wholly owned subsidiary of Tata Power, which has a lot of captive mines in Indonesia. We have Adani Enterprises and Adani Power, which import a lot of coal from Indonesia. Now, what impact will it have on all of these companies? Of course, there was a sentimental impact in today's trading session, but what we gather from most of the managements is that they have sufficient stock in their hand to fuel their power plants. Apart from that, they can also have various linkages in other countries like South Africa, where they can import a lot of coal. But surely for the short term, a lot of coal evacuation as well as trade routes of coal, especially from the sea route from Indonesia to India, will get impacted at least for a period of 10 to 15 days. This is what most of the analysts feel. And in fact, we had the management of GSW Energy, which says that we have sufficient stock of coal with us to fuel our power plants, as well as we might seek additional coal supplies from South African markets. And now it is very premature to talk about the impact on power companies, because only a certain parts of or province of Indonesia have been impacted. We do not know whether the province which relate to Indian companies where they have significant presence or they source a lot of raw materials from those provinces are impacted because of the earthquake. But yes, there was a sentimental impact on most of the power companies in India, because a lot of imports are done from the Indonesian markets. But surely it's not clear at this point in time how will the Indian power companies get impacted. But we'll have to wait and watch for the management comments, really, that how will things pan out from here for most of the Indian companies which are heavily dependent on Indonesia for their energy requirements.